I'm James Heaney, and this is Brief News Brief. Over the past weekend, the first large-scale protests against the new president were organized. There were protests in Washington on Saturday, and then on Sunday in more than 36 cities across the United States. These were large rallies, mostly in defense of the Affordable Care Act, the ACA, aka Obamacare. Now, members of Congress are planning to boycott Trump's inauguration. And get ready for a word you've heard a lot lately, this is unprecedented. It hasn't happened in the past 40 years. The last time it happened was during Nixon's second term inauguration. We got 60 members of Congress, and it's growing, it's counting higher and higher, that have decided not to attend out of respect for John Lewis. Now, John Lewis was recently attacked by Trump on Twitter. It was a little battle that they had going on, and they're using the hashtag #StandWithJohnLewis. Some criticize this movement, saying that they want to have it both ways. By turning their back on Trump's swearing in, they're rejecting the choice of the voters who voted to make Trump president. Now, a large number of the boycotting Democrats say that they respect the inauguration ceremony and the symbolism of it and the importance of a peaceful transfer of power. But they feel that it's important to stand with one of the most revered members of both the House and the Senate. If you don't know who John Lewis is, he is the recipient of a Presidential Medal of Freedom and one of the last living icons of the civil rights movement in America. Donald Trump's team is preparing to give away the seats of the Democrats who do bail on the president-elect's swearing in on Friday. Now, not all the Democratic leaders are likely to skip. In fact, a lot of them are going to stay there because they're aware that by skipping out, it could seriously damage any future attempts to work with President Trump on policies where they might share common ground. Because, like it or not, I mean, there are some areas that Trump shares with the Democrats. And if he starts getting prodded by the Democrats, he might just not work with them at all. So it's pretty important to keep an eye on this because it's growing, but I don't think it's going to catch on like wildfire because I'm hoping that the Democrats are smarter than to start a fight on day one. As you all know, Brief News Brief extensively covers all Bruce Springsteen news and related news. Last we checked in, his motorcycle broke down on the side of the road and was helped out by a biker gang. Now, it has been reported that a Bruce Springsteen cover band, I told you it was related news, not directly, but a Bruce Springsteen cover band, B Street, is not coming to town for the presidential inauguration due to recent criticism from fans after they announced their intent to play at Thursday's Garden State Gala. The B Street band manager and keyboardist, Will Forte, who is not an alumni from Saturday Night Live, but Will Forte nonetheless, said in a statement to Rolling Stone, "We felt we had to make it known that we didn't want to seem disrespectful in any way, shape, or form to Bruce and his music and his band." Will Forte, went on to say that it's a shame his band wouldn't participate in their third inauguration, but after listening to the people, they did what they thought was best for the band. That says a lot for a guy who pretends to be something he's not for a living. I can't help it, but when I go to a B Street show, I keep looking on the stage wondering who's Tony Danza because I don't know who's the boss. I am super excited for this new segment because finally I'm going to have a venue to give you the news you really care about, that's really important in the world. And this first story is going to blow your GD mind, okay? The creators of indie game Prison Architect, within the interest of full disclosure, I was a Kickstarter backer on, okay? They are apparently in violation of the Geneva Convention. The issue arose because of the appearance of a 5-pixel wide red cross on the hoods of ambulances and the backpacks of paramedics in the game. Now, apparently, the symbol of the red cross is under international protection. Unauthorized use of this sign is an offense under the Geneva Conventions Act of 1957. Initially, the game producer Mark Morris and game designer Chris DeLay thought this must be some kind of really good prank. They're like, am I getting punked? Where's Ashton Kutcher? Is he under the table? No. Geneva Convention. Good one. No. For real. Geneva Convention. Okay? Well, it turns out this is not a joke. They are not being pranked. The Geneva Conventions are rules that apply in times of armed conflict, are intended to protect people who are not taking part in hostilities. Misuse of the Red Cross icon is prohibited to prevent armed forces from misrepresenting themselves in order to gain an advantage in the battlefield. Using the symbol without permission is like, for instance, the Colombian military members used this in order to rescue political prisoners held by rebel forces. This is considered to be a war crime. The Red Cross is also not meant to be used for commercial uses, such as advertising campaigns or on products, or, as it turns out, in video games. This is the first time I've heard of a video game being outed on this problem here, but the team behind Prison Architect quickly complied with the request. The cross that appears on paramedics in the game is now a green one instead of a red one. Actually, so the teleprompter says, but my gut says it's actually an H. I think they put an H on that pack. You're going to have to check it yourself. Anytime you see a story here, you should double check it yourself, because we're just a very small news team crew. But, and I gave you full disclosure, so I'm completely defending the Prison Architect group. My guess would be, what if they were never using a red cross and those idiots were mistaking their red X symbol, but they always put their red X on a diagonal, which I could see looks like a red cross, but it's clearly a just sideways red X. It's poll tally time. First up, how many phone numbers do you have memorized? Less than 5. I'm with you. In fact, I only know one phone number of a person that still has the phone. I remember my phone numbers from when I grew up. But the only active phone number I know, my own, and my wife's. Now, if her phone broke and we got split up and we were like in a different state, we would just simply never see each other again. That would be it. Goodbye. I don't know your number. I can't call you. It's tragic. But people back in the 80s and 90s, they'd remember as many as 10 to 12 phone numbers just off the top of their head. It's a skill that we are losing. If you saw a bag of money fall out of a truck, would you keep it? I would, of course. That was the right answer, too. And finally, puppies or kittens. Puppies? You'd eat puppies? You're sick. For shame. And for the new polls, all right? First off, is the Red Cross out of line, or do you think that it's appropriate for them to uphold the Geneva Conventions and stop video games from using the Red Cross as a symbol? Secondly, window seat or aisle seat? I'm talking about on an airplane, not a bus, an airplane. Because they both have, and the middle seat, no one's going to say middle seat. I guess go ahead and vote for it, but if you voted for middle seat on an airplane, it's because you're bonkers and you should get ejected from the plane. Okay? And last but not least, does crossing your fingers help more with bringing you good luck? Like, ooh, I hope I win the lottery. Or is it better at getting you off the hook for lying? Like, I didn't do it.